10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me again at the No Soundbites Allowed podcast. I'm happy to be here with you. This is Michael Voss, the Dragon of the Southern Tier, your guest and host here. And I hope everyone's doing well. We've had a very busy weekend. We weren't able to publish beforehand because we were with the New York Federation of College Republicans, getting ready to work with the SUNY Broom Republicans podcast. We're going to be holding a debate for the New York Federation of College Republicans, the NYFCR, and they're going to be electing a chairman, and we're helping them with the debate of their candidates, and we'll be publishing that soon. But that's where we were the last couple of days, why we haven't published. More importantly, we want everyone to remember that we're going to be going to CPAC 2019. We will be down there all 3 days. We will be broadcasting live from CPAC. We're going to be broadcasting at 3 p.m. at 1 until 3 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, and at 3 p.m. on Saturday. And we're going to have a list of all of the guests that we're going to be having very shortly. I think people will be very surprised and very impressed. It's going to be a great, great time. And I do want to thank everyone, by the way, because I know I say it all the time, but I appreciate you guys. You make it all worthwhile. You're the reason why I'm going to CPAC, why I have the interviews with the politicians I do, why I do this all the time. All the research and everything that I do here is because I enjoy speaking with you about the issues that matter to us all, especially if we're Black conservatives, men, women, the people that most of the major media are putting thumbs down and stepping on every day, but also to everybody else who has an open mind and is willing to hear an idea. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about today a little bit is Melanie Collette. She's the host of Money Talk with Melanie, and she's also going to be joining me down at CPAC 2019. She's going to be one of the hosts. She's got a great program talking about finances and how to improve your life. A lot of great information. We're going to be talking with her actually tomorrow. That's February 19th, and we'll be publishing that. It should be a great program, but I got distracted because when I do the program, a lot of people may not realize this, there are hours and hours of information that I go through. In fact, right now it's 12:30 in the morning on February 19th, and I'm doing this podcast. But the reason why I do that is because there's so much information. I mean, I could be talking about Jusse Smollett, but quite honestly, there's no need. We know it's a hoax. We know he's an entertainer. We know that entertainers have no true impact on politics. They talk a lot. They get a lot of attention, but they don't make the laws. They don't enforce the laws. They have opinions no different than Joe the plumber down the block. And there's no reason why we should give any more weight to people who are very pampered, often very rich, and often have no real context or understanding of what working people do. So I don't really care. I am upset that Mr. Smollett is causing a situation that's going to harm people who actually are victims of violence, individuals who are being discriminated against because of their political views or their sexual orientation or the color of their skin. Those are important issues. What Mr. Smollett did is really hurt any of their cases and create doubt the next time that someone says something happened because of their hoax. And that's a bad thing. But that's been well covered by just about everybody. Well, all the conservative media and even some of the liberal media, which is the mainstream media overall, even they have to admit that, hey, it's gone too far. But that being said, what I did run into in my research here is I found something on my good friend, Representative Anthony Brindisi. For many people who don't know who he is the congressman for the New York 22nd District. I've known him since 2013 when I ran for Congress. And I've spoken with him. I've done interviews with him. He just got elected and started in January as the congressman for the New York 22nd District. And not a lot has been known about him. Anthony has said that, Representative Brindisi has said that he's an independent voice out there. Probably the biggest thing he's known for is that he didn't vote for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House. That's his big claim to fame so far. But I ran into something that he put on Facebook, which is Anthony Brindisi says, hey, we're going to work in Windsor, which is in the New York 22nd District, central New York, and we're going to bring in some infrastructure, and we're going to create an economy that's secure. We're going to help, and he's going to do this because this is one of his top priorities. By the way, in all the conversations I have and listen to with Anthony Brindisi, every time he talks to media, everything is his top priority. The Green New Deal, raising up taxes, it's always the top priority. So I don't know what his bottom priority is because everything's on top. But the thing that gets me about this is he's talking about doing the same thing we keep hearing. And this is true in New York State, but we hear this across the country, from Democrats and liberals all over the place, and often sometimes even from Republicans. Well, we have the solution. We're going to improve the economy. Everyone's going to do better. All you have to do is just listen to us, vote for us, and it'll get great. In fact, it was Senator Hillary Clinton, when she was running for election in New York State, promised upstate New York, I'm going to bring in 300,000 jobs. In fact, during the 8 years that she was senator, we lost 30,000 jobs. We heard from Governor Cuomo, just re-elect me and we're going to be able to bring in new jobs into New York State. What's the reality? New York State has lost somewhere between 1.2 to 1.5 million people. We've lost thousands of businesses. We just lost $2 billion in tax revenue because in 2014, Governor Cuomo said to all the conservatives, all the Republicans, get out the state. He doesn't want us here. Well, people have been listening. New York State is the #1 state for people to leave in the entire nation. We are 50th in business friendliness. And he says the same thing that Anthony Brindisi says. I have the economic plan that's going to work. It's going to be great. We're going to grow businesses here and everyone's going to be fine. Except, Central New York is worse off in unemployment than the entire nation and even the state of New York. So I don't quite believe him. And I said, well, let me take a look at how well he's been doing his job so far. Since January, how well has he been doing his job? Well, this is the only thing that Anthony Brindisi has done so far. In the entire time he's been in Congress so far, he has not put in any bill except for this amendment. Now, let me take another step back here so people have some context on this. Anthony Brindisi says he's independent and that he's looking out for the public and he's working hard. So far, to date, Anthony Brindisi has done nothing but vote yes to every single bill the Democrats have put forward. He has backed all the Democratic issues, even and going further and further left as we go, but he has done nothing. The only thing he did that isn't directly straight down the line a party Democrat is to vote for Nancy Pelosi, which was a campaign promise that Nancy Pelosi had okayed back in August of 2018. So this yes man of his party, and I say that because that's all he's done is say yes to everything that the Democratic Party has offered, has come out and made big promises. And the only thing he's actually doing is he put in 7 words. 7 words. I want people to look at this very carefully so you can see this. And I want you to be sure of where I'm talking about. It's this. We're going to insert such as a community-based outpatient clinic. That's it. That's all he's been able to accomplish while he's been in Congress, to put in those 7 words. And I'm being generous. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to give him 5, 6, 7. It's actually 6, but I'm going to give him an extra word just for the benefit of doubt. That's all he's accomplished. He put in an amendment to a bill, and here's the really sad thought about that, because as I did the research on this and looked it through, because I was amazed, other freshman congressmen have already gotten out bills. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, even Anthony Delgado of the New York 19th has put out a bill. He's a freshman just like Anthony Brindisi is. And yet, Anthony Brindisi has yet to put out a bill to actually make a stand on any issue. He won't make any definitive answers on anything. And I'm a little upset because that's all he's been able to accomplish so far. And that's upsetting because when you look into it and you say, well, at least he put in an amendment and he's helping veterans. And that's a fantastic thing. I agree. I agree completely. That does help people and that is a good thing. Except when you start to actually find out what it is that he did. Because he didn't actually, those 7 words aren't his. Those 7 words belong to Congresswoman Annie Kuster of New Hampshire. It's her bill. She's the one who's been working on the Veterans Program since 2012. She's the one who's been pushing forward the VA program to allow the VA members to be able to have childcare. And his 7 words are actually her 7 words from her bill that she's been working on since 2012. And you have to understand, even Representative Kuster out of New Hampshire, she doesn't even have an honest bill. It's not even her work that she's talking about. You have to go back with this. And this is the sad thing because no one talks about it. I know it's not exciting and all that, but this is the reality of politics in America right now. That we're watching politicians, they're saying they're doing all this hard work for us. No, they're not. Because if you actually take a look at what Representative Kuster has done, this is actually the work of, yes, believe it or not, Senator Patty Murray of Washington in 2010. In 2010. And that's kind of sad. And that's actually very sad. Anthony Brindisi is taking credit for 7 words that were made in 2010. This is what the Democratic Party in 2019 is doing with the House of Representatives. That's what we can expect from them. That their idea of we're going to have these great ideas, we're going to help the economy, we're going to help the infrastructure, we're going to help veterans by following up bills that actually came out in 2010, almost a decade ago. This is the new idea. And I have to say, for the New York 22nd District, now I would advise people, check out what your congressman is doing. I went to congress.gov. I've shown you the websites there. You can look it up. It's the websites for congress.gov. You can go into Representative Kuster's page and just look up Senator Patty Murray and look up her information. And again, this isn't new stuff. But I have to be very, very upset. And I have to really question this. How can we trust a representative who is saying that he's going to be out there trying to make this priority one, or honestly, one of the top priorities that he's doing, when he can't even write a bill? He can't even stand up for the New York 22nd District or any of his constituents and actually come out and put a bill forward and say, this is what I stand for. This is what the people of the New York 22nd stand for. Or more accurately, half the people of the New York 22nd, since he only barely, by 4,000 votes, he won. So half the people, honestly, of the New York 22nd District, this is what they think. He hasn't even done that. He hasn't even been honest to say that, hey, I need some help. Well, actually, he's being honest. He must have asked, or someone must have noticed, Anthony, you haven't done anything. Representative Brindisi, you haven't done anything in Congress. Here's 7 words, and put that in a bill that no one's going to object to, and put that out there, and you can say you've actually done something, even though they're not your words, that they don't belong to you. They belong to a representative who's been in Congress since 2012, and she took it from someone, a senator, who's done the work in 2010. This is a copy of a copy. And it's not even, I can't even, with 7 words, that's nothing. That is not being a member of Congress. That's not doing the job of taking care of the public. In fact, as you could see from the bill with Representative Kuster, it was actually the very next day, the 8th. He put in the 7 words. He put in the 7 words on February 7th. And I have to admit, I hadn't been following him because he hasn't been doing anything. And he put it in February 7th. And Representative Kuster put her bill through, H.R. 840, which actually really takes care of the entire issue, on February 8th. So he did nothing. He succeeded in nothing. He wasn't even there to do anything. He was given something to make him look good. And people are going to look up his record, and I really hate this. The news media is not paying attention to this. They gave him 2 days of attention, and this is something that's happening not just with the New York 22nd. You will see this happening over and over again in Congress, and it does happen to Republicans as well. I'm not going to let them off the hook with this either, but we see this over and over again. Members of Congress who are doing nothing, achieving nothing, saying they're standing up for the public and that they're doing something fantastic and they're working hard for $175,000 a year, approximately 4 times as much as the average person in New York 22nd District, and maybe 5 times as much as many people throughout the entire United States. And the only thing he's been able to accomplish is say yes to everything that his party has mentioned, even though he's an independent voice, and 7 words that weren't even his own. If that isn't upsetting, I don't know what is. But maybe that's just me. But I'm just about out of time, and I want to thank you for taking a moment to listen to me. I advise you, check out what your member of Congress is doing, especially if they're a freshman. Are they putting out someone else's retreaded idea? Or are they actually doing something to help you? Are they actually doing something that's going to benefit the public? Or are they just doing something that their party gave them so they can look good, so they can get reelected easily because they haven't done anything hard? And by the way, Anthony, Representative Brindisi, if you disagree, if you think I've misunderstood the information in doing the research, if I've got it wrong, I've been asking you for 2 years to come onto this program and to answer some questions, to do an interview with me. You have been saying for 2 years now, since you started running and since you won, that you are going to go and do an interview with me. I'm still waiting. I'm still here. I'm still asking. So if you think I got it wrong, come onto the program. Let's have a conversation. But folks, I want you to have a great day. Get some rest. If you're up this late, you really shouldn't be. Look for us over at CPAC 2019. We're going to have a great show. Look forward to hearing my interview with Melanie Collette of Money Talk with Melanie. And until the next time, folks, I want everyone to just have a great day. Be well. And I love you all. You guys make it all worthwhile. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.